Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Prakash, I won't ask you about Bharti. I will ask you about cement, actually. The rally kind of then went into a bit of a lull, and now it seems to be, the interest seems to be coming back. What do you buy? Which geography do you buy? Which stock do you buy if you're looking to add to your portfolio?
No, absolutely. So I agree with what Rahul is talking about. Ultratech continuing to, come back of sorts as an attractive play. But the reasons for cement to have kind of lost some mojo was two things. One was the input cost went up. Okay, so all that stuff that you were importing and coke costs and stuff, fuel costs, that was high. The second thing was the demand side typically remains tepid during the monsoon season. Now that we are getting out of it, and we are out of the monsoon season, and more so Kerala is out of it, there's a lot of rebuilding and reconstruction that's going to happen. One of the largest players in that market has already announced the likelihood of a price hike, which they're going to take. But I'm talking about Ramco Cement, which is by virtue of the kind of market share they have in Kerala, is very well poised to take advantage of that. So any rebuilding activity, particularly civic utilities and infrastructure predicated by the government's spending, is going to lead to a cement offtake for sure. So I think that's a very good theme. You can be secure about, say, whether rest of the country the activity picks up or not. Kerala, it will pick up. There's enough of a delta that gets created. So by Ramco, I think that's a good company in the right spot.
The circuit had opened, and circuit is now back up on stocks like Dwarikesh, Hampur, etc. Bajaj Hindustan is back on 20%. So it's just telling you the kind of exuberance that seems to be there in the market now, right?
Yeah. So this is typically the behavior of a market that hasn't bought quite a few things since a long time. So when you go out shopping, you do it with this gusto and want to buy whatever is available. Sugar has suddenly become a theme that everybody is centered onto, and then as Mr. Tulsiani explaining, people haven't really done the math in terms of who benefits out of this. And even if ethanol prices were to be at 57 bucks, by the time most of these players set up capacities, do the capex and start taking advantage of that, it's going to be a few months, 8-9 months maybe. So, and by that time, what happens to the government policy, what happens to crude is a different question. So you are running too many risks, just buying sugar on the basis of the ethanol, catalyst. So I think you need to, people need to realize that please buy things which are political proof, which are dollar proof, which are crude proof, not just get into something which is actually behaving because there's some respite. This is not respite. 20% move in some of these companies that they're nowhere close to making ethanol is just because they're in the sector. Yeah. So, and there are lots of, connotations attached to this ethanol policy. Some of this could be quasi-political, quasi-economic. And end of the day, all that money is going to go to pay the arrears for the farmers. So if you were to buy something out of this news flow, it has to be consumption goods which farmers are going to end up spending on. They are the guys who are going to be left with the money end of the day. So there's much more. And yeah, Monday morning, I wouldn't buy into the market with this exuberance. You were waiting for 11,500, and then that's been crossed with such this thing confidence. But the market's probably waiting for some good news, too much of good news. So it's an expectation rally. It could fizzle out a bit, but then keep on looking for value, and I'm sure you will find.
Prakash Diwan is also with us in the studios this afternoon. Prakash, good to have you back. So, suddenly, it seems to be like it's all hunky-dory. We will only find out, I think, on Monday. But your thoughts on the kind of recovery that a lot of big NBFC stocks are making? They've been beaten down quite a bit with bond yields moving higher. But for instance, Indiabulls Housing Finance now, Bajaj Finance for that matter. Are these good levels to get in?
So, the same question I had answered 2 days back, and for Bajaj Finance, it was a very unequivocal yes, because, we mentioned about the fact that some of these quality NBFCs will not get so upset by, the kind of cost of funds that was anticipated to prevail, for them. See, look at the way they get themselves funded. Look at the way their business model is prone to passing off the higher cost of funds to the borrowers. The differential in an EMI for a Bajaj Finance customer is just a few rupees if the cost of funds were to be higher, predicated at 8.15 bond deals. So what I'm saying is, but we, when things are bad, when they're looking bad, everything looks really worse than what it is. And that's where we, kind of painted all of them with that dark brush. And This is more of a bounce back, which is on the back of the fact that the rupee is stronger. And there is expectation that there's some economic revival plan or package would welcome us on Monday morning. So as you said, whether this continues till Monday or not, that all depends on that big expectation that's been building on this thing. So this is not a hope rally, this is an expectation rally. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these stocks which have suddenly been like Indiabulls Housing, case in point. Yeah, I mean, is that really something which is warranted? And my question is maybe not. But some of them like Chola, Shriram Transport, Piramal Enterprises definitely would kind of find some better values than what they were 2 days back. So I'm not saying this is a great time to buy. You need to buy when there is panic, not when there is exuberance on the street.
Yeah. Prakash Diwan, any thoughts on how to approach a name like Ashok Leyland? I mean, they have been getting more orders, more bus orders coming in. Today, Eicher Motors also spoke about a 15% volume growth for their business. You think there's more to go in this space and in this name? So
I'll tell you, on Ashok Leyland, I mean, we've seen these, slices of good news coming through once in a while. And today you have maybe a Bangladesh order coming in for single-decker buses. I don't know why they're not called normal buses. And then you had some time back some EV, headway they made in the UK order and all. But Sonia, the commercial vehicle segment has still got a huge overhang of the undecided replacement policy, the scrappage policy that is still on the cards. And any day that could come and spook the market the way you had this excess tonnage that was introduced, and we still don't know what has been the impact. I feel August was a slightly weakish month for auto sales. September could continue with that, and more so now the CV cycle could be topping out. While Eicher is talking about a catch-up because there is a market share shift that is happening in their favor. It's not an overall business complexion that's changing. And if Maruti were to introduce a smaller light cargo vehicle from their stable, all of these guys, Ashok Leyland and Tata Motors of the world, will find it extremely difficult to compete with that. Now, Maruti in the LCV segment, we've not heard, but they are planning to do this since a long time to cater to the e-commerce build-up that's happening. So the intra-city movement and the point-to-point distribution pickups and all. So that is going to be a big game changer. So I would be slightly cautious with the Maruti at these levels is still a buy. I mean, 8,500 was mouth-wateringly attractive. You saw some sales shift to the premium segment and things like that. But Ashok Leyland, I'll be a bit cautious at these levels.